Well, if it isn't the internet. Sorry, I'm not used to interacting with people in such a public way. It's like a COVID. My social anxiety has gotten so bad. Like, all I do is just sit around and go, if I see another person, I'm gonna die. It's great for my mental health. I love it. It's wonderful. It's been hard past couple of months, I think every single person on the earth has said today. Thank God for the good people over at Netflix. You know, yes, they have canceled every show I've ever liked. They did cancel Mindhunter, which in my mind is like a biblical sin. They canceled Glow, which makes me immeasurably angry. You know, everybody when they canceled American Vandal was like, whoa, they wouldn't do that to Glow or Mindhunter, would they? But they didn't do that to Hill House. I watched it too, and boy do I have opinions. But this video is not really for that. Speak about Bly House in a way, speak about Bly House. Fuck. I'm gonna try my best to speak about Bly Manor in the most independent possible way, because it is the most independent possible show, and it is kind of a miracle that it exists. It's kind of a miracle that anything exists right now. I know a lot of stuff was shot at the tail end of like last year and at the beginning of this year, so a lot of that stuff is still being edited and it's ending up on streaming platforms. Luckily for us, Bly Manor was shot pre the apocalypse. So congrats, lesbians. You got a TV show, a whole one dedicated to you. And isn't that nice? Oh, also it's Halloween time and it's time to talk about ghostly things. Woo! It's time for the ooky, spooky, ding dang dooky Halloween video. And it's about Bly Manor, which is great. It's a great show.
There you are. Now let's come up with a story.
That's all you really need to know. I mean, honestly, I feel like I want to tell you to just go watch it if you haven't already seen it. I think I'm probably going to focus this video on like specifically analysis stuff as if you've already seen it. This is kind of your opportunity to go see it and then come back, because I'll be waiting for you. Fucking called it Bly House. If I call it Bly House one more time, I'm gonna shut the video off. I know it's called Bly Manor. Everybody in the comments is gonna be like, you know it's called Bly Manor, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I know! So The Haunting of Hill House is a show directed by Mike Flanagan, and it came out like some years ago, and when it came out, everybody was like, what? Like a ghost thing, but for like 8 fucking hours? How could they possibly cram such a tiny book into such a long series? And you'll be amazed to hear that they did. I don't know, Hill House is... I'm gonna get crucified on the internet. That's fine. Hill House is okay. So I'm like a really big Mike Flanagan fan. Like I think Oculus is great. I think Gerald's Game is great. It's like the only movie I've ever passed out watching. Good job, Mike Flanagan. I've seen the fucking Slaughtered Vomit Balls movies. So... good one! And generally, whenever Mike Flanagan uploads a video to youtube.com, I'm like, I click right on it. Dr. Sleep, I'm in there. I'm in that theater. I'm gonna check it out. Gerald's Game, first day, I'm there. So Hill House, in my heart, was like this really big, like, magnum opus moment for Mike Flanagan. I couldn't have been more excited about it when it existed. It's everything that Mike has been working on his entire career, but all put together into like a stew, and then everybody gets some. It's great. The problem is wrapping up necessarily. Like, I don't love the way it ends, but I think that it gets there in a very, very beautifully, I don't know, a very beautifully poetic way, a visually poetic way. I love the way it uses the ghosts. I love how it contextualizes ghosts. I love that it has little details that reward later viewings. Even though I think those kinds of things are usually like, you know, sort of tacky things that you go, well, I like these things too, but really at the core of it, does it mean anything to me? I feel like Hill House is really a story about grief. It's like losing people and like how you handle that sort of thing. I just wish that maybe the landing would have been stuck perhaps better. A good one, maybe. But luckily, Netflix, my friends, the people who canceled Mindhunter and Glow and hurt my feelings and permanently scarred me forever, you can't just fucking create characters and then just kill them like that. What the fuck is wrong with you? They decided to greenlight a second season of Hill House. And of course, everybody immediately went, but it ended. But it ended. But it ended. And that's why we have Bly Manor. Hello, Bly Manor. Come over to my apartment and hang out with me.
We're dead.
Bly Manor is like when you go to the library and you see like a really hot like goth girl and you're like, I bet she's way too cool for me, but then you realize she's way too sad for you. It's kind of like that. But as I said, I love Bly Manor. I think it's great. I think it's better than Hill House, like in every single way, because it feels like everything is so very streamlined, and it has these very significant moments, big powerhouse emotionally hitting moments, and I feel like the ending is really just stuck perfectly. I struggle to think of a way that it could have ended better, and I think a lot of people are probably going to read into it and be like, oh, it's like a weird, overly emotional ending that has nothing to do with the ghosts, and that's true, but the ghosts are not what the stories are about, and that's what we get into in Bly Manor. See, Bly Manor is not your traditional ghost story in the sense that it is aware that ghosts play a larger role in human existence, and it's not like you see a ghost, you shit your pants. It's like you see a ghost, you shit your pants, and then what? You know, like, what is the emotional and meaningful reaction to having experienced the afterlife, the paranormal? Does it fill us with hope or dread?
The people here. They're born here.
Well, it's like a double-edged sword sort of situation where, you know, you see a ghost and you think, damn, that was scary as fuck. But then you also think, damn, the afterlife be real. My loved ones are alive? Oh. So I guess let's just get into the main core conceit of the whole thing. Bly Manor is a gay story, which is my wheelhouse because I'm a gay story. And as a gay story, I think I'm very entitled to criticize other gay stories. It's a gay story in a lot of ways, but mostly in that it's a gay romance, and its backdrop is the fact that it's in a haunted house. There's a curse. There's a curse in the show, and it makes the girl be dead, and then they are separated.
Your parents loved you so much. In a way, they'll always be here.
If you've seen the ending of the show, you know that it is a very harsh way of looking at grief, but it is also a very true way of looking at it. It does everything that Hill House didn't do, in that I feel like it really manifested the meaning of the whole show in a beautiful way, and it does it in one sentence where it's like, you think that this is a ghost story, but actually it's a romance. This is of course said by the lady that's marrying Greg Sestero from The Room. Hey Mark. But it's true that the story does does have ghosts in it, and those ghosts are scary and weird. Like, for instance, there's a ghost that has like white lights for eyes, and then you learn that those are glasses and they're a reflection from a light when someone was hit by a car, and now they're permanently carrying around the light that hit them because they were unable to like move on with the fact that they died, and they died under bad circumstances. And it feels like everybody in the story is identical to that exact sort of thing. All the ghosts died in some sort of bad circumstance, which this is a reality that we must understand. The mythos of like what a ghost is like somebody got bummed out and didn't want to go to heaven, so they stayed here on Earth because they can't seem to let go. And the show also explores how that can be a tumultuous force and kind of has its own opinion on what that means.
I've seen things. It's like I'm in hell.
For instance, the main like big scary ghost is this lady who like she started to kind of fade away, but she's been looking for her child. Well, and she's been looking for her child for hundreds of years, but because she does the same thing, walk out of the swamp and walk into the manor and then kill somebody on the way there and then go back into the water, you realize that she's basically just manifesting the emotion of rage, and she's not actually manifesting anything that would actually help her. Like her inability to move on, like her individual inability to move on kills countless people. Understand that the show's opinion is a little bit like about trauma and about like things that are hard, like, and how we have to like force ourselves to move on as to not become consumed by rage and then just become walking rage and then, you know, just ruin innocent lesbians' lives. So the main thing with the ending is that one of the two girls, not the gardener, but Poppins is her name in the show, which is so fucking sweet. I can literally die and be dead. Poppins unfortunately catches ghosts. Basically the ghost like promises to one day come back and claim her for her own, and then she does, and she dies. It's not instantaneous. She doesn't immediately die by ghost. You know, she isn't thrown up in the air and she isn't broken into pieces and her body destroyed. She's consumed slowly over years, and it makes her go crazy, and it makes her like lose everything that she fought so hard to gain. This is like why Bly Manor ends up being a really great gay story, because this is an unfortunate truth of a lot of gay life, is that eventually you kind of end up consumed by rage and by the manifesting feelings of other people, like other people's hatred manifesting onto you, and that usually takes your life. It's not your problems, it's other people's problems. They won't let go of their hatred. They won't let go of their minuscule rage about some completely ridiculous and insignificant thing. Or even it was a significant thing. And you know, fucked up things do happen, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should live a hateful and rage-filled existence. And really, when it comes down to it, like, something that kills an awful lot of gay people in the country every year is unchecked hate. So the show demonstrates that it's like this very sad reality that although you may love somebody, although you may be super close to them and see them every day and wake up next to them and have a whole life with them, one day they can just be very easily consumed by the situation that we live in and be gone. And then it's your duty as a person to live a life not consumed by rage and not consumed by bad vibes, because you will in turn cause harm to someone else who was innocently just waking up in their bed and eating breakfast and having a good life. So the moral of the story is, it's one thing to have empathy for your gay friends, right? It's one thing to be like, my friend who's gay is cool and I like them and I would happily take them anywhere and I would happily do things with them. And I don't understand what the big deal is. Over time, these sorts of things compound and sort of erode a person. And the kind of support that's actually needed is support where we dismantle the hatred that we live by, because it doesn't motivate us in any sort of positive way. It just kind of hurts people. So Bly Manor, while yes, being a story about ghosts, and yes, being a story about fashion fucking icons, it's also a show about like deep-seated issues, grief, and why we have to move on. Why it's important not to keep ghosts around. Why it's important to not like these things, because they're sad things. They're not good things. They're memories of a haunted world, like of people that lost their lives because of some stupid bullshit. And ultimately, they relive that bullshit over and over and over. And in doing so, they don't realize that they're making everybody else relive that bullshit too.
They die here.
So Bly Manor, it's really good. You should check it out. Definitely on Netflix, that you should totally subscribe to. You know, even though they're totally gonna cancel, you know, every show I like forever. They also tweet really stupid things. Fuck you, Netflix. I changed my mind. Fuck Netflix. And also fuck TV. To be perfectly honest, I think that Bly Manor is perfectly splendid. I think that it's a lovely time for everybody. Hey, guess what? If it's Halloween and you're lonely and you're sad and you're thinking, fuck, I sure wish I had a friend to eat this Halloween candy with. Remember, we all do. But Halloween is not canceled, my dears. You can still watch Friday the 13th Part 6 directly on streaming. Matter of fact, if you want to talk about like a time in history for watching horror movies, honestly, bitch, it's never been better. I fuck with streaming sites now. Like, everything is on there. And like, I don't have a Shudder sponsorship or anything, but hey, Shudder, I fuck with you. Do you want to fuck with me? So go stream some horror movies and have some candy corn and have a good ass old time. It's Halloween. It doesn't mean that you should be any different. If you still really want to cause some mischief, you know, I heard that the police really don't like candy corn thrown at them if you're looking for something to do. Help a bitch out! So thank you for taking a break from protesting to come hang out and watch my video. I hope you know that I support your protest, and I think that's lovely, and you should be doing that. Congratulations on actually hopefully making some fucking change. That would be super cool. I've been May of Nick's Fears. If you didn't know, I do have a Patreon, where you can pay me $1 to get some Treon. And make sure and give this video a like and share it with your friends. I'm sure they would love to also have a very gentle and calm, but also directed philosophical conversation about Bly Manor, the show they just watched and have no idea what to think about because I have no idea, I have no punchline. Your friend needs me. Help your friend. Tell them about me. And if you enjoyed yourself, make sure to subscribe. That way you can see future uploads, unless YouTube decides not to show them to you, which is what the bell is for. So click the bell. Then check out my Twitter, @NickSpheres. I always am posting about what I'm doing. I'm like, hello girls, I'm making a video, or I'm making some music, or I'm really bummed out today. And real quick, before we go, I think we all owe a debt of gratitude to the fashion in Bly Manor. So I'm going to leave you with the credits for this video, with a nice slideshow of some of the beautiful, beautiful people in Bly House. Happy Halloween, you filthy fucking animal. Bye. If no one wants to take a ride, I'm on your passenger side. We'll see the show.